Deputy Johnny Garcia, Public Information Officer for the Bexar County Sheriff's Office. Earlier this morning, around 3:34, the Bexar County Sheriff's Office was dispatched for a crash here in the 8100 block of Steep Valley, which is located in Converse, Texas. The homeowner that called in the crash heard the crash, stepped outside, observed the two vehicles that had made collision with each other, made contact with the driver. It was a vehicle that was occupied one time, pulled the driver out of the vehicle, and began performing life-saving measures. Deputies arrived 3 minutes after the initial call came out. By that time, the victim was already unresponsive. 3:39 a.m., additional first responders arrived to the scene and pronounced that male deceased from an apparent gunshot wound to the upper torso, located on his left side. As we began locking the scene down and searching for evidence along the street, a couple houses down from where the crash occurred, we located what appeared to be signs of a shooting that occurred from the street and the house, where we ultimately located a handgun in the front residence of that home. At this point in time, we do have that home locked down as investigators are working to execute a search warrant at that residence. We have some folks that are detained preliminarily who aren't really being forthcoming with the details that occurred prior to the shooting. However, we will be taking those individuals downtown for additional questioning. The male that is deceased at this point in time, we believe to be anywhere from his late teens to early 20s. The vehicle that he was driving was reported stolen as early as last night, sometime around 10 p.m. last night. The weapon that was found on scene is not reported stolen at this point. However, preliminarily, it's believed that the gunshot victim and some of the folks that live in that residence had some sort of feud, whether that stemmed from social media. We don't really have too much information at this time. It's in the early stages of the investigation, so our homicide investigators are definitely going to be working this throughout the day. For those that are around here, this area is heavily congested. There's a lot of construction that's ongoing right now here in the street. We have the street locked down along Steep Valley, so residents that live in this area are definitely going to be impacted for several hours as we conduct our homicide investigation. We have crime scene here on scene. We have our homicide investigators here on scene conducting their investigation as well. And as more details emerge, we'll share those details as we can.
Are the people in custody affiliated with the house where you found the gun?
It's a mix. We have somebody here detained that has some sort of relationship to the victim. That individual is not being forthcoming with details. We believe that person detained has more information than what she's leading us on to believe. But at this time, at least one person connected to the victim. Several people are detained from the home back there on scene that are going to ultimately be transported downtown for additional questioning.
How many total?
I believe there's a handful of individuals, about 4 to 5.
Are they underage? Because some of them look really young.
We do believe some of them are underage. We haven't gotten identities on the folks. I know the one female, I believe, is 18 years of age. So as far as the other individuals detained, I don't have ages on them at this time.
Did the victim live in this neighborhood?
I don't know that. We haven't. The medical examiner hasn't arrived on scene. We're still waiting for the ME's office to arrive on scene. The identity of the individual that is deceased ultimately will come either later today or in the days after, hoping we'll be able to determine who he is and his relationship to anybody here at this home.
Initially you said cars, so did he hit a parked car?
Correct, yeah, I released that detail. So where the shooting occurred was a couple houses down from where the crash occurred. The suspect took off at a high rate of speed. We could tell that there was some evidence of skid marks there on the road. As the victim traveled eastbound on Steep Valley, a car that was parked on the left-hand side, he crashed into, which that vehicle got pushed up about 2 residents further from where the vehicle was initially parked at. Due to the speed that he was traveling at, we believe it was in excess of over 70 to 80 miles an hour. due to the distance of where that vehicle was pushed from. So he definitely hit a parked vehicle, which ultimately came to a stop. Resident came out and began performing life-saving measures. It was a Dodge Challenger and I believe a small compact SUV, a small black compact SUV parked on the street.
Was he the only person in the vehicle at the time of the shooting?
Yes, sir.
Do you all know the exact location where he was shot at?
In the 8100 block of Steep Valley. Yes, sir.
So
If there,
the person who was arrested, detained, who knew the victim, did they live in this area?
I don't believe so. The investigators told me that they had some sort of monitoring through either social media or some sort of Apple app that we know we can track people on, whether you're family members or you have access to that. The investigators believe that's how they knew he was here, which ultimately brought them to this location. So that's how they were able to get here on scene. We ultimately detained them as we started piecing things together and their relationship to the victim.
Have you all recovered any drugs, alcohol, or weapons on scene at all?
So we haven't fully processed the home of where the shooting occurred, but we did locate a weapon outside of the residence where we believe the shooting stemmed from. Whether that's belonging to the victim or somebody inside of the residence, we just don't know yet, but we will be finding out pretty soon.
What type of weapon?
It was a handgun.
Was he in the car when he was shot, or was he in the house?
We believe he was shot inside of the vehicle. There are some defects to the driver's side of the vehicle, leading us to believe that he was inside at the time of the shooting when the shooting occurred.
Were there any shell casings, anything left behind, or any damage to the home, or anything left out?
There are some broken windows of where the shooting occurred in the 8100 block of Steep Valley. There's two windows on the second story of the home that were broken. It's unknown if the shooting stemmed from inside, shooting out at the victim. But as I mentioned, we weren't given access to the home initially. We will be gaining access to that home here within the next hour or so.
Do you know if the victim or the people detained have criminal records?
Not at this time.
So the one person who was detained who had a relationship with the victim did not live here, but some of the other people who were detained did live in that home?
We believe so, yes. We did make contact with a homeowner. There was a lot of people outside of the residence. There were some folks next door. As I mentioned, those folks weren't really being forthcoming with us. We believe that they have some sort of information in relation to this incident, and we're at least going to take them down for preliminary questioning downtown to CID.
Mr. John, can you say in Spanish?
That's it?
Just one more question. Does it look like only one weapon was fired, or have you found any indication that did he shoot back, or was there more than one shooter at him?
Yeah, so we didn't find any evidence of a shooting that occurred in the street, at least leading us to believe that there was a shooting from the vehicle. There was no shell casings on the street. We weren't able to locate at least any shell casings along or outside of the front of the residence as well. So that's why hopefully we're planning to find some evidence inside of the residence. We haven't fully processed the vehicle itself as well, but we still need the medical examiner to arrive on scene before we're able to proceed with that, hoping that we'll also be able to find additional evidence potentially inside of the vehicle that will give us some indication of what occurred before the shooting happened or at the time of the shooting.
And also, I don't know if you mentioned or not, where was he shot at?
The upper torso along the left side of his body.
How many times?
At least at this point in time, 2. All right.
All right, thank you.